Hey y'all, welcome back to Cookin Aint Quiet. Last week I thought I introduced myself to y'all. I guess I assumed y'all knew who I was, but anywho, my name is Tiana, aka Chef Don T, aka the best to ever do it as a home chef. So I'm gonna get right into it. Today we're gonna do a chicken marsala. To me, it's a very simple meal. A lot of people like to do it with pasta. You can do it with potatoes. I don't know if you can do it with rice, but if you want to, then that's your business. But we're gonna get started with our chicken breast. So today we have a thin cut chicken breast. And it's important that your chicken breast is thin because we're gonna do a shallow fry. If you don't know what a shallow fry is, we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But I want you to see the chicken breast. This is how it should look. Very thin, sliced nicely. You need a really sharp knife to do so. Don't hurt yourself. You can also find thinly sliced chicken in Publix, Walmart, Winn-Dixie, wherever you like to shop for your meat. Or you could take a piece of chicken breast and thinly slice it yourself. No need to use a mallet or anything to pound the meat out because it's really not that serious. But if you want to take the easy route, thin sliced, neighborhood Walmart, Publix, Winn-Dixie, Target, whatever. So like I told y'all last week, I like to use gloves to season the meat because I did get a fresh set and I don't want any of the seasonings underneath my fingernails. So we use gloves. So since we talked about doing it with mashed potatoes today, we're gonna use some gold potatoes. To me, those are the best. They're buttery. Red potatoes are really good too. I'm not really a fan of a russet potato. I feel like those taste a little earthy, a little bit dirty to me, honestly. So I definitely recommend the golden potatoes or the red potato. It's really up to you for your preference, but not a baked potato or a baking potato. Those are not my thing. So we're gonna just rinse these off really good. Make sure there's no dirt on them. You can use a sponge while you're washing them. I like to put them inside of a strainer so that catches the water. And just wash them real good. Make sure there's no dirt. We talked about that really sharp knife. We're gonna use that really sharp knife just to cut up our potatoes. Nothing too fancy. Nothing too fancy at all. Y'all see I got all my seasonings. I want to make sure I got everything so I am engaged with y'all today. So I like to cut them in half and then you could do it in 4. Put them back in your strainer because I like to rinse my potatoes again. And that way when you cut them similar in size, they all boil evenly. But because the mashed potato is actually pretty forgiving. So they're gonna be mashed anyway. Now if you was doing like a breakfast potato, yeah, definitely wanna cut those evenly because if something is undercooked and something is overcooked, them is not gonna be breakfast potatoes, them is gonna be breakfast mashed potatoes. And we really don't want that. And then this is just enough potatoes, honestly, to get you about 2 meals. Unless you really love mashed potatoes and you want to eat them all by yourself, then hey, you can do that too. It be like that. Especially on a Monday when you get home from work and you just want a big bowl of something to eat. Some mashed potatoes. That should sound pretty good. With your little cheese, a little bacon, sour cream. So y'all gonna hear some water. Told y'all, cooking not quiet at all. So we're just rinsing the potatoes. You know when you cut into them, they have like that little starchy look to it. So I like to just rinse that off. Now I don't have any measurements for the amount of water to boil your potatoes. Just make sure that the water at least covers it. I think y'all can see that. See, it just covers it. We're gonna go ahead and put our eye on, you can put it on high. And it should take about 15 minutes or so to boil nicely. You're gonna salt your water generously. I would say about 1.5 tablespoons of salt. And just let that go. And once you add the salt to it, the potatoes will actually absorb that salt. So you shouldn't have to add too much salt when you're ready to strain them and mash your potatoes. Now y'all see this cauliflower up here. We'll get into that. Hold your horses. So now, we're gonna get into frying or pan frying our chicken. I use the term shallow fry when I started the show. So shallow fry means you're not using a whole bunch of oil to fry your chicken. You're literally just using just enough. So we're gonna put this on about 6, and we're gonna let the coconut oil fry. I told y'all last week about the coconut oil. For me, coconut oil is a healthy fat, and I do try my best to live good, live decent. And one of the substitutions that I do is coconut oil instead of vegetable oil and olive oil, because it's actually very, very, very healthy for you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take down a plate because we're about to do our dredge. What's a dredge? Dredge is just flour with a little seasoning. So I like to keep my flour and my brown sugar on my counter. And I just take a little bit, use the spoon. We're gonna put it on our plate. We don't need a lot of flour because remember, those chicken breasts are thin. So I would say that's probably about half a cup or so of flour. Yeah, half a cup or so of flour. And to that flour, we're gonna go ahead and add some black pepper. A little bit of garlic powder, because you want to make sure this has flavor. We don't want anything bland. A little onion powder, and a little bit of seasoning salt. Now take your hand, make sure your hands are dry. Just mix it together. For me, I'm really hands-on with my cooking, except for, like I said, I really don't like to have the seasoning underneath my nails, but I like to cook with my hands for the most part. And it should look like that. Little specks. You see the black pepper, you see a little bit of the seasoning salt in there. And that way you know your season is your season. Your chicken is seasoned regardless. So now that our oil is heated up and it's melted down nicely, it should look like that. And that is enough oil for a shallow fry. And let's go ahead and turn the heat down some. We're gonna put it on around medium heat. I hear a little bit of noise. I mean, the pot had a little water on it. So we're gonna dredge our chicken. Pat it nicely. Like that. Some people like to do an egg wash with theirs. Some people like to do panko. I don't. Just a little bit of flour. Look just like this. Lay it in the grease. And don't overcrowd your pan. That's important too. You want a nice golden brown color to your chicken. Again, nicely coated. And you're basically gonna repeat this step until all your chicken has fried. It smells so good. Something about the smell of grease. Grease just smells good. You went to your grandma's house, you go to your mama's house, and you smell grease. oh, you know it's about to be good. Because grease indicate what? Fried chicken, fried fish, fried something. In our house, it was probably fried fish with a nice pot of grits. Lord have mercy. So good. But today, the grease that you smell is for pan-fried chicken breast. And again, you don't want to overcrowd the pan. Rinse your hands off. And wash them real good. And using a glove for this step is, you can definitely do so. But like I said, for this, I like to be hands-on, make sure that the chicken is nicely coated. Let's go ahead and flip. Oh, it looks so good already. You can adjust your heat. Wow. So our first batch is actually almost done. And honestly, for this chicken, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes per side to be golden brown. I'm waiting for our potatoes to get some action, you know. Taking their time today, but it's okay. So we're gonna take out another plate. And for this plate, we're just gonna go ahead and put the chicken that has already been browned nicely and nicely fried on here. Now with chicken marsala, your chicken's gonna be smothered down anyway. Us Southern folks like to say smothered when we putting something in some type of gravy. So this pretty much chicken and gravy with some mushrooms. That sound good? Okay, we're gonna go with that. So this is how your chicken should look. Just like this. Just like that. And once you take out the first batch, you're gonna go ahead and add in your second batch. And if you need to add a little bit more coconut oil, you can. And know that coconut oil is optional. That's just what I like to cook with. Traditionally, it's olive oil. You can use vegetable oil. It's really whatever oil you want to use to fry or lightly fry your chicken. But be mindful, we're gonna use this same oil later on, so that should help you decide what kind of oil you want to actually use when making your chicken marsala. So if you want your gravy to have vegetable oil in it, hey, listen, it's how you want to make it. Okay, so we're ready for our second set. Smells very nice.
If there was one thing about cooking, you tell your parents what would it
Be patient with yourself. Be very patient with yourself. Cooking is forgiving. If you make a mistake, more than likely you can start over. You can start over. If you need to have your app open, you need to have instructions, do that too. Do that too. And it's perfectly fine. Another thing about this coconut oil though, It's not for high temperatures. So keep that in mind when you're cooking. It's for that medium temperature. But look at that. That is a beautiful piece of chicken. Literally should look just like that. I'm trying to shake off a little bit of that oil, but it should look just like that. Now this piece, y'all, looks so good. Now I'll be honest, it's a little warm over here. We frying, it's a little hot, so if I look a little greasy, listen, it's a little warm, we frying. It's definitely frying. Now our potatoes are starting to boil a little bit, so you about to address that cauliflower mash real soon as y'all see. But look at that. Now that, hold on, I'm coming. That's a good piece of chicken. That's a good piece of chicken, okay? And y'all know when y'all do that initial fry, the initial fry, just like when you do your pancake and your waffle and stuff, that first one would never turn out the way that we wanted to turn out. It'd be like, oh, it's okay, it tastes good, but listen, same thing when you fry chicken. Same thing. And we're just finishing up our last little pieces. And so when we're done with this, we're gonna take some of those bits out of this pan, and we're gonna use this pan to go on to our second step. Try to limit my water, y'all, but I just can't help it. I have to rinse my hands. I gotta rinse something off. I'm sorry. Keep telling y'all it's not quiet. Oh, you're asking what would I tell people? Cooking ain't quiet. It's gonna be loud. You're gonna hear pots and stuff clacking around. If people wanna eat, they don't mind a little noise. They do not mind at all. So, some people like to use cremini mushrooms. I saw something that said that people like to use the white mushrooms. Personally, I love to go with the classic Portobello mushrooms. And right here, I have the mushroom caps. These are really big. So we're just gonna rinse these off really good, and then we're gonna chop them up, and I'll show y'all what we're doing or why they're important for the chicken masala. And some of you may say, was the chicken done? The chicken is cooked. However, it is not 100% done because we are going to smother it down some. Our potatoes is going. Let's give that a quick stir. And I'll definitely share my mashed potato recipe and tips for you guys. Like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and take out some of this grease. So that we can go ahead and start the next step. Bear with me. It's live. Almost done. So what I did was I pretty much just went through and took out any of those bits that were a little too burnt for comfort. And we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more coconut oil. And we should be done with the coconut oil for today. I'm just gonna let that melt. Let that melt. Yeah, real good. Now we talked about those Portobello mushrooms, right? So we're gonna take that really sharp knife that we talked about earlier too. That's important to have. Just go rinse off your mushrooms. You ain't gotta grind because you're putting them right in the pot. You're gonna cut them up and you're gonna saute them. Show y'all how I cook. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy at all. And again, these are the caps, so pretty big. Look at that. That looks so good. If you like mushrooms, you love a good portobello. If you don't like mushrooms, you should love a good portobello. Okay, so now we got our mushrooms all chopped. Gonna go ahead and just put those in half. Cut it up some. And add those directly into our coconut oil. And make sure your stove is on medium. They boiling, y'all, but they're not quite there yet. Take our same spoon, our wooden spoon. I'm just gonna saute our mushrooms. And to that, y'all know I told y'all about my plant butter. We don't add, I would say, tablespoon of butter. And let that sweat down. Cook down real good. And we're gonna smash our garlic. Same technique from last week. Smash it. And this is about 4 cloves of garlic. I feel like it's always gonna be 4 cloves of garlic. It's like a really good garlic number. And add those into our mushrooms as they are sauteing. Oh, this smells good. Back to that question you asked me. Cook your food with your nose. That makes sense? Cook your food with your nose. It ain't smelling good. Something ain't right. Could be under seasoned. Your stove may not be turned up high enough. Cook with your nose. And let this saute. You want to let your mushroom saute for about a good 5 minutes or so with that garlic in there before we start adding the rest of our stuff. One thing I love to cook with wine. And for some reason, something about Marsala wine, I absolutely love it. Smell good, and like pour a half a bottle in there. Woo! Okay, so let's turn up the heat some. Get this really going. Now I'm really starting to smell that garlic. And it's smelling so good. So, to that, we're gonna add some of our flour to the mushrooms. Kind of as a thickener. And 1.5 of this spoon of flour. Ooh, y'all, it smells so good. So good. So good. this is what it should look like. After you add the flour, you put your garlic in there, you put your vegan butter, you put some coconut oil. Again, you can use olive oil, you can use regular butter if you're using regular butter. It is about 2 tablespoons of regular butter. To this, we're gonna add some Marsala wine. Ooh, if I can open it. It's already smelling good. And I added a cap full of Marsala wine. But I told y'all, when I cook with alcohol, I don't know how to add. So I would say that was probably about a 1/3 cup of Marsala wine. To that, we're gonna go in with some reduced sodium chicken stock. And gonna go for about the same, a 1/3 cup. And to that, we're gonna go in with some heavy cream, and I would say about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. This sauce looks so good. And this is where we will begin to season. Woo! Told y'all to cook with y'all nose. So to here, add a little bit of garlic powder. Probably like 1/2 teaspoon, honestly. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Go ahead and turn off your potatoes. So I looked at them, I'm like, that was done. A little bit of black pepper. Again, about 1/2 teaspoon. I'm gonna go in a little bit of salt. Stir that up and let that go. And before we add our chicken, we just want to taste it just to make sure that it is seasoned well. Ooh. Ooh, it's hot, tell you that much. Ooh. Ooh. Oh wow. That was perfect, y'all. To that, we add our chicken. And just put it in there. Just like if you was making some smothered chicken. Same thing. It's Italian style smothered chicken. And just let it simmer 10 minutes. Let it simmer for 10 minutes. We'll check, we're gonna put a little foil on it, and then we're gonna check on it in 10 minutes. I know sometimes when we having no tops for the pot, so we just put a little piece of oil on it and go about our business. Just a little, There we go. Now, we finally about to address those potatoes. They'll probably say, well, what happened to them? We ain't heard say nothing else about these potatoes. It's okay. They're done now. So once you strain your potatoes, oh, they look so good already. See them? Looks so good. I'm gonna put them in our pot. And what I'm gonna actually do, I'm gonna move the chicken over here. Because y'all already know what that's working with. So y'all can see the potatoes. So to the potatoes. The chicken is on low. So about, if you have a numbered eye, I would say it's between 2 and 3. 2 and 3. And again, just don't touch it. 10 minutes. Vegan butter, because I told y'all, that's what I buy. And make sure your eye is off. If you don't have a potato smasher, you can use a cup. I know, sound ghetto, but you can do it. You can use a spoon. You can use anything to smash your potatoes. And they should easily smash. If they're not easily smashing, that means that your potatoes are undercooked. Just gonna smash them real good. Some people like to peel their potatoes. I don't. I love skin on my potatoes. I think it's so delicious. You can peel it. Chef Dante don't. She does not peel potatoes. And the skin is healthy for you too. At least that's what I heard. Healthy. It's good for you. That's what my mama told me. Skin good for you, and I'm gonna go with it. It's good for you. I'm gonna tell my future kids, skin is good for you. I ain't peeling no skin. Only time I peel the skin is if I'm doing a sweet potato. Other than that, skin on. So before we add anything, Tasha, look. Literally mashed potatoes, butter. Okay? So, y'all saw me with this. We talked last week. I told y'all I like to add vegetables any way that I can. And this is the easiest way to get my man to eat some vegetables. And half the time, he wouldn't know what was in there unless I said it. So you can do it as is and just, you know, mix it together, add a little seasoning. No, I don't like to do it that way. But I will show you how to look before we add milk and seasoning and let it boil out some. And I'm gonna show you how easy it is to trick your kids, trick your spouse, whomever, into eating more vegetables. Now look at that. Look at that. That's how they gonna know. How they gonna know? So you can turn your eye on. My eye currently for the potatoes is on 4. And to that, you're gonna season them how you normally season your mashed potatoes. So we're gonna say about half a teaspoon garlic powder. We're gonna do some black pepper because I feel like a mashed potato is not complete without black pepper. Same thing, about half a teaspoon. Generous. I like seasoning salt in my mashed potatoes. So because we have a decent amount of salt in the food, we're gonna lightly do seasoning salt. So, you know, eyeball it. Then we're gonna go in with some lactose-free milk. About 2 tablespoons. Then mix. Mix it up. And we're gonna just let it thicken. Thicken up. Oh, and of course, taste it. Make sure it has enough. And y'all know, some food coloring, a little parsley. Yeah, I call it food coloring. You know, everybody cook all the same, so food be parsley up. But that's okay. That's okay, that's their business. How would they know? How would they know? How would they know? Babe, tell the people. How would they know?
Yeah, she got me. Yeah, she got me.
How would they know?
She got me.
They wouldn't know. So you let this thicken up. Turn your heat up a little bit more. That way it draws out some of that moisture. Because I mean, cauliflower mashed potatoes in itself is literally just cauliflower, some water. They pureed it down, put a little bit of salt, and that's pretty much it. And I got the roasted garlic one. So just roasted garlic, cauliflower, and it says a little bit of heavy cream. So, and it's good on its own. You don't have to add the mashed potatoes. You literally could just do it like that, but I like to do it this way. And you let that cook down for about, I would say get out about a good 6-7 minutes. Then it starts to thicken up. And while that thickens, we're gonna check on our chicken marsala. Let's see, take a little peek. Ooh, come on. And because the chicken had the breading on it, it helps to thicken the sauce. Oh my God. See the fresh garlic. And then it's almost done. Then it'll be done in 6 minutes. Some food coloring. Some potatoes thickening, I hear it. Y'all hear it? It's almost time. Serving spoon. That means it's almost time to eat. And if you're like me who feel like you should have a piece of bread with every meal, you can make you a piece of garlic toast. Use that same garlic toast recipe I told you about last week. Go ahead and put that on your plate. Make you a little Caesar salad. Get you a little tiramisu for dinner. I'm sorry, for dessert. Pour you a little red wine. I recommend a cap salve with this. It'll be so good with it. But they're thickening up so nicely. And when you increase the temperature, it draws out some of that moisture. And that's what we want before we serve our plates. I'm gonna give that about a good 3 more minutes. Turn off your chicken marsala. And you can actually start to do a little bit of cleanup. And this is the Marsala wine. The ingredients will be in the description below. And you can find that at just about any store. Walmart, you find that Publix, Target, any of your local stores will have all of these ingredients. And you can also make your cauliflower mash from scratch. Take you a head of cauliflower, and you go ahead and you just wash it, cut it up, boil it down, and you can puree it, and it has the same effect. Give that 2 more minutes, and we is ready to eat, honey. Ready to eat. And look what time it is, y'all. Early. Yep. They've thickened up. So let me just bring the pot over so y'all can see. You know what's cauliflower in there? Do you know what's cauliflower in there? No. No, you don't. Take it, Get your plate. Put you some right in the middle. And take your spoon, rinse it off. You see the potatoes? Now you see it. Now you don't. Now you see it. Take you some gravy. Get you a piece of that chicken. Get you a bit of the mushrooms and some fresh garlic. Which I like to say, bon appetit. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Look at that. Look at that. You see it? Chicken Marsala. So easy, so quick, so flavorful. Simple ingredients, hearty meal. It's a perfect date night meal. Again, a glass of Cab Sauv. You can do something sweet if you want to. Get you a nice dessert. You can see all the ingredients. You can pronounce everything. Make this. Make this. But I'll try it for y'all, because I don't think y'all believe me yet. And I'll be cute. Ooh, the chicken just cut so nice. Look at that. Look at that. Lord have mercy. Hold on. Give me a little bit of everything. Hold on. Ooh, Lord, we thank you. Ooh. Y'all, I ain't have to do this like this. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and I'll see y'all next week.